the 4-1 Steelers at the 2-4 Bengals. Cam Hayward called it the icy hot bowl with Aaron Rodgers against Joe Flacco starting for their two respective teams. Aaron Rodgers gave a thought on the fact that these two quote-unquote old guys were starting against each other. Oh, we don't have the sound on that. Okay, my bad. So now, Aaron Rodgers was commenting on the fact that he's always been friends with Joe Flacco, rooted for Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco has come to his charity event, and that those two guys, he's thrilled, are still in the league at this point in time.
And that he watches the old guys on TV, whether it's NBA, NFL, and he finds himself rooting for them.
I don't know how much of that I believe. He said it.
Why not? Why not?
What old guy is he rooting for?
He can't be rooting for LeBron?
He should be. I don't think based on comments he is.
Okay.
Steph?
I was going to say, do we consider Steph an old guy?
I think he likes Steph. Yeah.
Who doesn't like Steph?
If you don't like Steph, that's a you problem.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Unless you were a fan of a team that the Warriors beat on their way to being a dynasty. And I can understand that because hurt people hurt people. But how do you not like Steph? Steph's awesome.
So this is going to sound insane to think, considering one guy, Chris Canty, kind of wrote Rodgers off before the season, and another guy, me, thought that this was going to be Mike Tomlin's first losing season. Is the division over tonight if the Steelers win?
If the Steelers win. But that is a bigger caveat than I think most people want to acknowledge because the Cincinnati Bengals are a live dog when you have Joe Flacco, a strong-armed quarterback, a guy that can still push the football downfield, and you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on the outside, and you got those tight ends for the Bengals working the middle of the field in the intermediate short zone. So I think that this is going to be a really interesting game. But if we're going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers serious as a contender, then this is a game that you have to win. And we know Mike Tomlin's record against division opponents on the road Thursday Night Football, it ain't great. Now is the time for Pittsburgh to change that. He's got a competent quarterback in Aaron Rodgers that has been good, and he's got a defense that has been opportunistic in finding ways of late to put more pressure on the quarterback. So this is not a measuring stick game, but this is one of those games that I think provides us some insight as to the degree of seriousness that we have to take the Steelers when it comes to championship contenders in the AFC.
You asked if it was over tonight, if the Steelers win.
They'd be 5-1, Bengals 2-5, Ravens are 1-5 on a bye, and the Browns are 1-5 with a chance of a win this week against Miami, to be fair. But is it over?
Which one of the teams in the division, the Bengals, Ravens, or the Browns, would you think could put together enough wins to challenge the Steelers as they've gotten off to this much of a lead?
That's the thing. But, it's weird because ESPN Bet has told you that you should not give up entirely on the Ravens.
But my eyeballs tell me I should. The injury reports tell me I should.
I agree with you.
And I know that Vegas is much smarter than me. They are always right for a reason. But I cannot shake what I've seen from this Baltimore Ravens team. And I know a lot of people are going to point to the return of Lamar to help turn the season around. But I saw what they looked like with Lamar when he was out there and healthy. It's not good. And maybe they'll find a way to go on a run and turn this thing around and make it respectable. But I don't think that they're going to be able to challenge the Steelers after the head start that they've gotten out to and taking the lead in this division.
And the point you just made, Smalls, is the one that we should focus on. Because of the misfortune of everybody around them in the AFC North, there are zero excuses for Aaron Rodgers or Mike Tomlin in terms of being able to get to the postseason, host a home playoff game, win said playoff game. And so while I may have been wrong on my prognosis on the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, and Mike Tomlin.
Me too.
That doesn't change what the expectations are in terms of how we judge whether or not they've had a successful season.
So question on that.
They have to get to the playoffs. They need to win a playoff game. It's time. We've talked about it ad nauseum. It's been 3 presidential inaugurations since Mike Tomlin won a playoff game. Mm-hmm. Damn it, it's time. If you can't do it now, why would I have any confidence that you'd be able to do it in the foreseeable future?
Totally agree. You wouldn't. You said, though, the pressure is on Rodgers and Tomlin. Let me go one step further on that. I think the pressure is way more on Tomlin than it is Rodgers for this reason. Because I believe Mike Tomlin when he speaks, and he's given me 20 years, basically, of reasons to do that. Remember in the offseason when they brought back Mason Rudolph? So we're comfortable with him as a starter. The number one reason a team would fall apart late, in theory, is either poor quarterback play or a quarterback injury. That actually should not affect this team. Mike Tomlin told me all offseason, I'm comfortable with Mason Rudolph as the starter. So God forbid for Rodgers, he gets hurt. God forbid he regresses for him. And that team, they have a guy that they deem to be a starting quarterback ready to go. So I don't anticipate this team falling apart. And if they do, a guy that I love in Mike Tomlin, I will have to be critical of. More so than Rodgers, I think.
Well, they tried to play Mason Rudolph in a playoff game not too long ago. That didn't really work out.
I don't agree with Tomlin's assessment, but that was Tomlin's assessment. He did say that.
Yeah, I don't know how much truth was in that statement. So, but yeah, I mean, when I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, there is a clear path for them to get to where they want to go. And they have the requisite experience at the key positions in their organization in order to be able to accomplish it. If you fall short of that yet again, this feels like it might be one of the more embarrassing seasons for Mike Tomlin since he's been there.
I agree. You got to get this done, and it's got to start tonight.
Nobody had it on the bingo card that Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson through the first 6 weeks of the season would miss multiple games.
Yeah.
Nobody had it on the card that those two teams would combine for a grand total of 3 wins through the first 6 weeks. Nobody thought that. And so the fact that those teams have somewhat collapsed, the fact that the Cleveland Browns are in flux with 2 rookie quarterbacks that they're trying to decide between, if you're Pittsburgh, this is a prime opportunity, and you can't squander it.
You cannot. And you're a champion. You know this better than anybody. On the way to winning a championship, you have to have a couple things. You have to have perseverance. You have to have skill. But you have to have luck. A lot of times when you win a championship, the ball has to bounce a certain way. You have to avoid a certain opponent on your way to winning like you guys did. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have gotten the luck part. They've gotten the luck. It's, obviously unfortunate that so many other teams in the division have dealt with consequential injuries, but that's beneficial to the Steelers. You've handled your business up until this point, winning games. You need to do it tonight. And to the overall point, if they fall apart and they don't get this done, that is going to be a shock based on how they started the season and how they started the division. And we are going to have to hold Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers, and the team accountable for that.
Yeah, tonight's not a must-win, obviously. It's game 6 for them.
No, but it's a heavy should win.
You better win tonight.
There you go.
I don't know if there's a difference between a must-win and you better win.
Why would you want to give life to the Cincinnati Bengals?
Why
would you want to give life to the Baltimore Ravens by not putting more distance between you and them?
So you're saying it is a must-win?
I'm saying that if the Pittsburgh Steelers don't win tonight, I'm willing to entertain somebody else getting in this division race. I don't know who that somebody else is.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals that rise up.
But it could.
But what I'm saying is, it could be, but I'm not saying it will.
Right.
What I'm saying is, because the Steelers don't put as much possible distance between them and the rest of the field in that division, if they don't win that game tonight, they're going to regret that.
You're 4-1. You don't win tonight. Tonight's the fumble of all fumbles. You should be running away. We should be having conversations late in the season about how they're going to prepare Aaron Rodgers for the playoffs and whether or not they're going to rest him in Week 18. I'm dead serious, and I can't believe that. I didn't think the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to be this. We should be having the conversation at some point. How many games has Aaron Rodgers played down the stretch? Because you got to keep him upright for the playoffs. That's what, and it starts tonight. You got to create that separation and run away with it.
One of the things to keep an eye on tonight, the cornerback situation for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though everybody's going to suit up, Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter Jr., Darius Slay, all of those guys have been banged up in the last couple of weeks, going in and out of the games. Going up against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, healthy guys, I'm just saying, watch out for that. This could be one of those nights where Joe Flacco has a turn back the clock moment and generates a lot of explosive plays down the field in the passing game.
Tonight better be one of those nights that we set a record. We did an amazing job last week. Well, not in terms of the winning part, but the participation part with our ESPN Bet Parlay. We had so many people jump on board with us, and we want to beat that number. So here's what we've got: the unsportsmanlike parlay for Thursday Night Football tonight. DK Metcalf, 5+ receptions. Jamar Chase, 70+ receiving yards, and the over at 43.5. Go to ESPN Bet. It is prominently featured on the parlay section right in the middle of the app. Go do it now. Join us, the unsportsmanlike parlay. Get on board. DK, 5+ receptions. Jamar Chase, 70+ receiving yards, and an over on 43.5 total points, both teams combined.
Boy, that just fits together, doesn't it?
It really does.
Let's get this
done.
done.
That just fits together,
Let's
doesn't
get
it?
this done.
I feel good about this one.
Last week we took an L. Tonight
Yeah.
we bounce back.
Yeah.
If I said that, everybody would be screaming jar. Is it too late now to apologize? We'll find out after CeCe has this from Venmo. How can I get jarred after you should have gotten jarred?
This college football season, show your school spirit.
Steelers Nation, get ready, because what we're witnessing on defense right now is nothing short of historic. After a shaky start in weeks 1 and 2, yeah, I know, we all saw it, 65 points allowed and barely getting to the quarterback. It didn't feel like the Pittsburgh defense we know and love. It didn't feel like the steel curtain. It felt more like a plastic curtain blowing in the wind. But just like that, boom, something clicked. Since then, this defense has been on an absolute tear, holding opponents to under 15 points per game and stacking up 17 total sacks in just 3 games. That's elite. That's Pittsburgh football. And here's the real kicker. We're just 1 game away from breaking a franchise record that goes all the way back to 1963. Let me say that again. In 62 years of Steelers football, not even the dominant 70s defenses, not even the Blitzburgh era, no Steelers team has ever had 4 straight games with 5 or more sacks. But this current squad, they're right there. 1 game away. And it could happen this Thursday night against the Bengals. TJ Watt is turning it up like a man on a mission. 3.5 sacks in the last 3 games. This is a defense that's waking up angry. Highsmith, Herbig, Cam Hayward, this entire unit is flying. And don't forget Jalen Ramsey in the secondary, locking it down and freeing up the pass rush to feast. It's all coming together. It's explosive. It's scary. It's Steelers football. So here's the question for you, Nation. Are we about to witness the best pass rush of the Mike Tomlin era? Could this be the defense that carries us into the playoffs and beyond? I need your take. Drop it in the comments right now. And if you're feeling this energy, if you're hyped for Thursday night, do what you do. Hit that like button, smash subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss a second of the grind. This is Steelers Nation Wire, and we're riding with this defense all the way to history.